Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this presentation about EL Education in Arizona by Jessica Emiliano. So, what is the definition for English learners known as EL? According to Arizona, an EL student is a student whose native language is not in English. Those students that struggle with reading, writing, speaking, and do not comprehend English. And this puts limits to be successful in their classrooms. A student that is identified as not English proficient and is placed in an EL program known as English Language Learners. They are tested every year in order to determine the progress to becoming proficient in English. When the student is then classified as proficient, they are tested every year for 2 years. And this is to determine if the child still needs the services or not. Demographic and home language composition within pre-K to 12 EL population in Arizona. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, in 2018, Arizona has around 11.5% of students classified for EL. Most of these EL students are Hispanics, meaning they are from Mexico, Central America, Asia, and Middle East. And the language that is mostly spoken is Spanish, Navajo, Vietnamese, Arabic, and other languages. So the pre-K to 12 English learner population in Arizona is very complex. Structured English immersion in Arizona, known as SEI. In Arizona, the SEI models commands ELs to be in the instructions in English, in the English language. So all students receiving instructions from a certified teacher from the SEL language development. According to each individual child, the instructor provides instructions based on the child's stage. It will depend where are they at the level. The instructor provides support based on the child's stage or level that is focused on subject concentrating on assessing, support, extend, and modify the practice language. The Arizona's language development approach. Language development approach makes the way the learning of EL students will be structured. This also connects language, literacy, and learning in all the subjects area for that instruction. This communicates, it tells us the way it will be designed. There are 4 principles. Principle number 1 is the assets-based behaviors and expectations. This is when every educators or teachers knows that assets are multilingualism and home languages. It makes sure that students' culture and linguistics assets are respected and are inclusive in their environment or within the classroom. The principle 2 integrated instruction in disciplinary language and content. Teachers and educators convert disciplinary language instruction when applying English language standards. Arizona's language development approach. Principle 3. Target and explicit language instruction. This is when educators or teachers give the student a chance to utilize language when they are listening, when they are speaking, when they are reading, and when they are writing. Educators helps ELs obtain their disciplinary content and create a clear and direct instructions to students so that they can understand how language works. Principle 4 is the assessment, monitoring, and feedbacks. So this is when educators and teachers use the data, the information to plan for the next instructional steps moving forward. They use teachers' informative and summative form of language in a rich fulfillment. Educators also use ELP standards to score and evaluate language learning. Student agency and its importance in the EL's instruction. So student agency refers to students' ability to take over of their own learning, making choices, establishing objectives, and being accountable for their educational expedition. Student agency is very important in motivating ELs to be engaged in their learning process because this is very crucial and very beneficial in their academic to be successful and achieve language proficiency. This is an important concept for EL students because it promotes a supportive environment for their language acquisition. Student agencies is also important for ELs because of 3 reasons. It motivates self-determination by allowing them to propose learning goals and want to achieve them. It creates a sense of voice. That's when they feel confident to express themselves, engage, and participate in class. And it also builds confidence. That's when they take risk in their learning. Also, when they make a decision and they see the outcomes, they obtain a sense of accomplishment. And this takes up with their self-esteem. Arizona's approved research-based CEI models. So the Arizona Structured English Immersion CEI models are created to assist ELL students to gain English proficiency when also obtaining their learning academic standards. Newcomer models was created for those students that just came to the U.S. and does not speak English. So this is one of the 4 major models. This model, the newcomer model, primary emphasis is on teaching the fundamental of personal interaction, communication skills, and the endurance English. The second 4 major models is the pull-out model. The pull-out model is when ELs are being pulled out, just like the word says, of the regular classroom for a certain amount of time during the day to receive a specific development instruction in English. The third model is the 2-hour model, which mandates that ELL students get 2 hours of English language instruction every day. This helps quicken their English language acquisition. And the fourth model is the 50-50 dual language immersion model, which is the bilingual education types, and is when students are being taught literacy and content in 2 different languages. For example, 50% is in English and the other 50% is in the student's home language. Each of these models are designed to help individualize students' needs. The choice is based on that specific child's needs. The EL program eligibility in Arizona. The EL program eligibility is done using 2 steps in Arizona. The home language survey, known as HLS, and the Arizona English Language Learner Assessment, known as AZELA. The AZELA is an assessment that meets the federal and state requirements to track the student's English language. While in the home language survey, known as HLS, parents fills out this survey containing questions about the language that is usually spoken in the family and the language that the student mostly uses. The HLS points out students who might be English learners, while the AZELA is used for the placement in the EL programs and their English proficiency. Also, the AZELA is helpful for placement and reassessment by monitoring student progress to ensure that students stays eligible for the services. If the HLS determines that there is a language that is not English spoken at home, then the student gets assessed for the English language proficiency. This is to determine the student's level. Students will take the AZELA reassessment every year until they obtain for proficiency. Then, when students achieve proficiency on the AZELA's assessment, they are checked on for 2 more years just to make sure they are successful. After the student determination and is being classified through the HLS, then they are transferred to the AZELA placement test. Standard accommodations to ELs for AZELA. There are several accommodations for ELs on the AZELA. Some of them are extended time, use of bilingual dictionaries, option for a read aloud test, small group tests, separate location, directions, repeated, simplified language, the use of audio support, and more, depending on the student's accommodations. Parents or guardians' right for EL services. So what are the parents' rights? The parents of an EL student, English learner student, have the right to accept or to refuse placement in the EL programs and or specific services. The right to refuse placement and services. Parents have the right to refuse to enroll their child, and they can also remove them from the program at any time. the right to information. Parents have the right to receive information about the ELL program, about its benefits, and to know how it will help their child. Parents also have the right to participate in the decision making, including the type of programs their child can or will receive. And parents have the right to assessment, having their child being assessed for English proficiency to see if the child is eligible or needs the ELL services. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact your school principal, or you could contact us. Thank you very much for listening and watching. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this presentation.